Today, I want to talk about a specific kind of tired. It is not that bone deep fatigue that you have from a flare. It's also not that wound up exhaustion that you might feel from experiencing a meltdown morning. It's really something different than both of those. It's the moment when you realize that you cannot remember the last thing you actually enjoyed. Not tolerated, not got through, not checked off the list, but enjoyed, as in laughed without forcing it, looked forward to it, felt better afterward, not just less behind because you got something done on your to-do list. If that thought lands somewhere in you, today's episode is for you. Because here's the thing, what you're missing isn't fun. You don't need more activities. You don't need to schedule in these fun times. What you are actually missing is permission to enjoy the day you are already experiencing. So let's talk about it.
Welcome to Chronic Illness Moms. If you're more than just a tired mom, I'm talking trying to make it through the day without crashing by noon while raising neurodivergent kids, you're not alone. I'm Ashley, a wife, mom, and certified health coach. I have lived with autoimmune disease and flare-ups that made everyday life feel harder than it should. After years of pushing through and burning out, I learned how much stress, poor sleep, and nervous system overload were driving my symptoms. Everything changed when I started building small, realistic habits that actually supported my body instead of fighting it. In this podcast, you'll learn simple habits that help you to feel better. So pop in your earbuds and take a break from the chaos. It's you time.
Something that I've noticed, especially after becoming a mom, and I've shared this before, I am very much a task-driven and task-oriented person. It is something that I have had to work through. I used to love checklists, to-do lists. It was like my favorite thing. It felt so accomplished to check things off of my list, get everything done, all of that. And especially after becoming a mom, I noticed that even more so. And we can have seasons in life where everything feels like a responsibility. So even the things that used to be fun, that used to feel really exciting. So maybe it's cooking. It becomes something, instead of being a fun experience, it's what am I supposed to make tonight? Instead of working in the garden, it's, oh my goodness, I have to go out and water again. Music can become something like, is this the right thing for this kid right now, or is it going to overstimulate them? Even sitting down and relaxing on the couch, spending time with your kids, watching a movie, it can be something that you just do in between things because you're just collapsing because you're so exhausted. And I've had times where I've caught myself just standing in the kitchen, pouring myself coffee, whatever it is, and realized I have not actually been here in any of this. Sure, I've been doing it. I've been getting stuff done, but I have not been living it and experiencing it. And that is what I want to talk about in this episode. It's not this moment for you to add another habit. It's the moment where you realize that you have stopped finding joy and fun in the little pieces or the little parts of your day. The things you're already doing, you've stopped letting yourself enjoy them. So today's episode, we're going to talk about fun, but not in the way that you might think. I'm not going to tell you go schedule a girls' night or take up a new hobby. You're already exhausted. Hearing someone tell you, hey, you just need to add more fun to your life, it's exactly the kind of thing that really makes you feel like you want to roll your eyes and think, okay, she does not understand me clearly. What we're going to talk about today is something different. We're going to talk about why your nervous system needs joy as a baseline ingredient, not a reward when you do X, Y, and Z, but just as an everyday habit that you infuse into your life. We are also going to talk about why fun usually disappears for caregiving moms long before they even notice it, and then one specific practice that does not add any extra habits or anything else for you to do to your day. It just gives you permission to enjoy what you're already doing. Okay, so let's talk about it. So the first thing is, a lot of times we think of, fun or really enjoying ourselves as a luxury. But the reality is fun or joy or whatever you want to call it is not actually a luxury. If you are worried about being chronically stressed, if you're trying to regulate your nervous system, please hear me that fun is one of the ways that you can send a safety signal back to your body, to your nervous system to calm down, to stand down, that everything is okay. So when most of your day is made up of responsibilities, so going from this, doing this, that, everything, we're going back and forth, got to take care of this thing, got to help this child with that, now I need to hop in the van, whatever it is that you're doing, your nervous system is reading your day as, okay, we are on duty, we've got to stay alert, there are things that we need to watch out for. Even when nothing is technically wrong, you're just doing your same old routine that you do every single day. But the tone of your day, which is pressured, scheduled, you're in the problem-solving mode, it keeps your body in a low-grade alert mode all day long. Joy or play or fun, however you want to frame it, it can interrupt that signal of we are on alert right now because things are not well. Experiencing joy and fun, it tells your nervous system we are safe. If we are able to laugh and make light of a moment, then obviously there is not a threat. Think about it. Whenever you're in the middle, let's say you're in the middle of a really stressful event or an argument with someone, and suddenly someone says something funny. Think about how it de-escalates. Not only you feel significantly less stressed, but it de-escalates the situation. It's the same way whenever we can begin to infuse joy into our everyday life, it is giving our body that safety signal to say, the threat is not here right now. We are good. You can settle down. So this is why even small moments of fun, laughing at something silly with your kids, dancing in the kitchen, maybe it's that you, for a little bit, my kids and I, we were doing knock-knock jokes. So whatever it is, but anything where you can have just this small moment of fun, it will leave you feeling lighter and more relaxed afterward. It's not that you treated yourself or went and picked up a new hobby or went and did a girls' night. It's that your body just got a few minutes of permission to come out of that fight or flight, to drop that safety signal of we've got to be on alert. So remember, fun is your nervous system's break. It's a safety signal for your body, for your nervous system. Okay, the second thing is a lot of times we just get to going, like we are doing life, I guess, going from one thing to the next. And when fun disappears, it's not because you stopped wanting to experience fun. It's not because you want to be grumpy and irritable and not experiencing joy. It's because you stopped letting yourself have it. You got out of the habit of looking for those moments of joy. And sometimes it's not even that we got out of the habit. Sometimes it's that we actually feel bad for doing it. So most moms, we don't lose access to fun just because, there's no time. Really, we lose it because every joyful impulse that we might have, like, I'm in this moment right now, maybe I could do something funny or say something funny or make this moment lighter. A lot of times when we have that thought or even that urge, we will fact check it. So we're like, wait, should I be doing that? Is that actually productive? Should I be doing something more important? Should I be looking and checking that to-do list? What kind of mom would take a break right now when I have X, Y, and Z to do? And so that voice, that thought of guilt, it runs and really inspects every potential moment that we might have for joy. And it thinks, actually, no, we probably shouldn't do that. That's not what a good mom would do. Or a good mom would be getting this stuff done. And so we squash that desire to make joy in the really the everyday life because we feel guilty for wanting it. We feel guilty because we feel like we should be doing something else. And this is what I want you to hear. Adding more fun activities is not going to fix that. Because if you think, I really should go and hang out with my friends. The reality is there is a good probability if you are experiencing this feeling of guilt because instead of having fun, I should be being productive, then that feeling and that voice of guilt is going to fact check those new activities that you want to set out, like this new hobby or hanging out with friends. It's going to fact check those as well. And then instead of you actually going and enjoying that, you're probably still going to be experiencing that guilt. So what is going to fix that? So especially as a mom, if you're like me, you're caregiving, you're extremely busy, and you think, right now is a season where I just don't have time to pick up a new hobby or go hang out with the friends or whatever. Obviously, I do think community is very important and we should make time for friends. But I'm saying if you are in the thick of it and you're thinking, I don't have time right now, then what can you do? Give yourself permission in the day that you already have to enjoy something. Again, this is not about you not being able to be fun anymore or have the time for fun. It's really about you learning to shift. Where am I trying to plug in this fun? What does it look like? And do I actually have permission to have fun? Do I have permission to bring joy and laughter into these little everyday moments? Okay, so here's what I want you to focus on. One thing that you already do this week. Maybe it's making dinner, folding laundry, maybe it's the drive home from picking up kids from therapy or school, and just make it a slightly better version of it. So what does that look like? Maybe it's music while you cook. Maybe it's listening to an audiobook or a podcast that you want to listen to while you're doing laundry. My husband and I have recently started watching hockey, so maybe it's watching hockey while you're cooking dinner or doing laundry, things like that. Maybe it is getting the good chocolate that you really love and sticking it in a drawer and pulling that out in the middle of a hectic day and just having a moment to enjoy it. Maybe it is taking that drive home and taking the scenic route that lets you guys drive by the really pretty view on the way home and just enjoying it. Maybe it is as you guys are driving, or maybe it's that evening and you notice how beautiful the sunset looks and you point it out to your kids and you all enjoy it. Maybe like me, you look up knock-knock jokes to tell your kids and you guys laugh and have a good time about that. Maybe it is whenever you pick up your kids from school and they start telling you about their day, you truly listen, you focus in, you listen, and you get excited with them about the things that they are excited about. It's so funny how even just engaging, instead of being, really, it's like we get so caught up in our to-do list that we are half listening. We're listening to them tell us about their day while also thinking about the thing we need to do next. And even just taking a moment to really intentionally listen and get excited with them about the things they're excited about, it's funny how much joy that can bring to you and to your day as well. Okay, so again, you're not adding in this whole separate event that you have to go do. You're just giving yourself permission to add in those little moments of joy into what you're already doing. So it doesn't have to be this whole big thing. It's just saying, okay, this is what one thing I know that I do consistently. How can I make it better? How can I make it more fun? How can I add in a little bit of joy to it? And what I want you to do is after you start doing this, notice what happens in your body afterward. If you have like a really good laugh with your kids, or maybe a fun, silly dance party, or whatever it is, how does your body feel afterward? Are your shoulders lower? Is your jaw less tense? Did that next moment feel a little bit easier to handle? Did you not snap at your kids for the thing that honestly you probably would have snapped at them for before? That is what I want you guys to practice on. It's just this very small, tiny habit built into what you're already doing. And honestly, it is super powerful. I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago. That's why I wanted to do this episode. Because, during hard seasons of parenting, and I've shared this before, we're currently in one right now. One of the things that has really helped me to cope and to manage has been being able to laugh, has been being able to find the silliness and just be silly with my kids. Be silly in general, find joy. And I'm not going and hanging out with friends all the time or, picking up new hobbies or anything like that. Now I am still doing gardening and things like that I love. But what I'm saying is really the consistent thing that I have been doing that has helped me to manage has been finding those little moments of joy and just giving myself permission to be silly and have fun, to not take everything so serious. And what I notice for myself is whenever I do that, when I'm consistent with that, it does make such an impact on my ability to handle stress, on how stressed I feel, compared to the times whenever I get out of that habit and I am a lot more likely to get irritable, to feel discouraged. And so that's why I wanted to bring this episode to you guys, because it's something that I experience really in real time, real life, and just know how much of an impact it can make. So I want you guys to do that. Pick one thing that you're doing and ask yourself, how can I make this better? How can I make this slightly more fun? How can I bring joy into our everyday life? And then I want you to come over to our free Facebook group and share with us. What is it that you did? What was the one thing that you chose that you made slightly better? And then what did you do to make it better? Music while making dinner, good chocolate, taking the scenic route home, whatever it is. I think coming and sharing what you're like, giving each other that permission slip and saying, hey, this is what I did and it really helped me. Or maybe you share that you tried something and it didn't work as well as you would hope, but here's the thing that you're going to try next. Being able to encourage each other and let each other see that we have permission to bring joy and fun into our everyday lives. And not only do we have permission, but it can make such a meaningful impact on how we can manage and approach our everydays, especially as life is just extremely stressful. I think that is so important. So if you are not part of our Facebook group, I will share the link down in the show notes below. And then also I want to let you know on Thursday, we are starting this mini series, and I've talked about it before, but I wanted to bring it back again. And that is about caffeine. So we're going to talk about how it affects stress, sleep, and then also energy. And really, I think some of us know all too well what those energy crashes can feel like. So we're going to talk about caffeine and how it's related to that. Now, spoiler, I'm not going to tell you you have to give up your caffeine. So don't tune me out because you heard me say caffeine and you think I'm going to tell you that you have to completely drop it. That is not what I'm going to say. I am going to tell you some smart ways to use and time your caffeine though. So I will see you guys back for that first episode on Thursday. Have a wonderful week.
Hey friend, I hope you found today's episode helpful. If you did, would you take a minute to share it with another mom who's struggling with chronic symptoms? And leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It means the world to me to know this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to go tackle those snack requests, and remember that a short walk, even if the kids turn it into a race, still counts as self-care. Keep chasing those little wins. Even when it feels messy, you're making progress. The information shared in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health routine. I'm not a doctor, and this podcast is not intended to treat or diagnose any condition. You're the expert on your body. Listen to it and reach out to a trusted provider for support.